7 dark behaviors you must never accept. Carl Jung's stark warning. You stand in a crowd. Laughter echoes around you, but something deep within you watches silently, disconnected, observing, not belonging. Jung calls it the shadow, the hidden self we deny, but must confront. You agree with someone, but only to avoid conflict. You smile when you mean to scream. You say yes when your soul screams no. Jung warns, every act of self-betrayal is a pact with your own darkness. Tolerating manipulation, justifying control, letting others twist your truth. Slowly, the walls of your soul crumble. Jung believed submission to domination is the slow death of the self. Always happy, always available, always accommodating. You become what others want. But inside, silence. Jung called it persona overload, the loss of authenticity. You hide your wounds, your fears, your cravings, not out of healing, but out of shame. Jung believed shame is a soul-eating emotion, and silence its sharpest knife. You hate in others what you deny in yourself. You call someone selfish, but avoid your own needs. You scorn the loud because your voice is buried. Jung warned, what you reject in others reveals your rejected self. You follow the rules. You stay in line. You ignore your wildness, but inside, dreams grow darker, nightmares sharper. The soul does not forget. It revolts in silence. You chase status. You follow someone else's dream. You ignore the whisper that says, "This is not you." Jung believed the greatest tragedy is not death, but the unlived life. You allow toxic people to stay because they need you, but beneath their wounds hides a hunger for control. Jung warned, not all broken people are innocent. One day, the silence breaks. The mask cracks. You look at your life and realize this is not who you are. That moment is your first taste of truth. Jung called it individuation, the path home to the self. Pain is not the enemy, it is the teacher. Jung believed our greatest growth often begins where we are hurt the most. The wound is the place where the light enters. You feel the urge to lash out, to control, to dominate. These are not random flaws. They are parts of your shadow. Jung warned, what we repress doesn't die. It waits. You keep the peace. You avoid conflict. But silence becomes poison. Jung said, when peace is bought with your voice, it becomes a prison. You try to be perfect, but perfection is a mask for fear. Fear of rejection, of being seen. Jung believed the true self lies beneath the polished surface. You lose the job. The relationship ends. Everything breaks. But beneath the ashes sprouts a new self. Jung said, the greatest transformation often follows total collapse. Every person you meet is a mirror. They reflect your unloved parts, your hidden wounds, your greatness. Jung said, what you see in others lives in you. Comfort feels safe. But Jung warned a life too comfortable is a life not lived. Growth begins at the edge of discomfort. You've grown up, but the child inside still cries, still hopes. Jung believed reconnecting with the inner child is a return to wholeness. You pretend it's fine. You smile, but unspoken truths rot the soul. Jung warned, anything denied becomes fate. Freedom is not the absence of flaws, but the integration of all that you are. Light and shadow, fear and love, all welcomed into one whole self. You chase likes, praise, validation, but Jung reminds us the person who lives for approval dies by rejection. The true self does not beg to be seen. You hold your tongue. You let it slide. But every time you silence yourself, you vanish a little more. Jung believed truth untold festers in the soul. You never cry. You stay composed. But Jung said, what we call strength may be denial in disguise. True strength embraces vulnerability. You finally stop running. You turn inward. The shadow no longer chases. It walks beside you. This is the beginning of individuation, the real birth. And now you see it. The journey was not to escape darkness, but to embrace it. Jung taught us, what you make conscious, you transform, and in doing so, you are no longer divided. You stare at your reflection and see only flaws. But Jung whispers, the face you hate might be the part of you you've most rejected. Look again. They pull, and you dance. But Jung warned, the unconscious controls us like marionettes unless we cut the strings and take the stage ourselves. You forgot what you once loved. You buried your passions. Jung believed this room exists in us all, dusty, locked, waiting for you to open it. Pain arrives, grief rips through, but you don't break, you bend. Jung said, the tree that survives the storm isn't the strongest, it's the most rooted. You are no longer half. You are not shadow or light. You are both. As Jung said, I'd rather be whole than good. And now, you are.